Premium drink. Look, I just don't get this. I'm in no way do you and I have any sort of problem with drink and how it affects our lives.
Well,
but
no.
Hey, look at yourself, pal, before you start looking at me, please.
No.
But what I would say is, one of the reasons...
You got me chucked off a train as well once.
I never got you chucked off a train.
You did, for being lippy to the guard.
Yeah, but you were lippy to the guard, not me. You were the one who said...
Remember that?
I do remember it. And actually, it was quite justified, because what happened was, we had bought first-class tickets. We're then in a first-class carriage. One of the carriages then had broken air conditioning or something, a second-class carriage. So they steered everybody, the people that I sometimes unfairly refer to as the great unwashed.
Oh, you don't.
Well, just as a bit of a joke. I don't believe they're unwashed. I believe they're pretty well-washed people, but you know what I'm saying. And they were all steered into our carriage. You then, quite rightly, when the guy came round checking the ticket, said... quite politely, listen, mate, considering that everybody in the second class has been shoved into ours and made this very uncomfortable because we're crushed up now in first, can I have a refund on my first class ticket? He threatened to call the British Transport Police and have you thrown off the train for, trying to, bamboozle him with
the reason
signs.
why we go first class is because you're never off your blooming phone.
Well...
And as I've told you before, you're going deaf. You shout a lot, so you upset people.
No, I don't. I never upset people. But one thing we always try to do on the train, have a leisurely drink, maybe one bottle in 3 hours or something.
Remember that time we're going north?
Oh, I certainly do. And the guy with his mistress.
Well, it was, yes. It was quite clear. There was a lot of touching going on. That was not his wife, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So we decided, the trolley came along, and I thought, Porky, this train is really busy.
Yeah.
I think we'll get in first. So what sort of wine have you got? He says, have a nice Chablis. We'll have it all.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he actually said, we've got a Chablis, got a Sauvignon, and got a Pinot. Right, give us a lot. And so by the time the train got to Romeo, what happened then?
He says, I think, darling, yes, should we have a little Petit Chablis?
Yeah,
that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're out. Oh, so he picks up the menu again. Well, let's try the, what about the Sauvignon? I'm sorry, sir, we're out.
It's gone.
He tried about 4 different wines. Yeah. And he said, well, this is ridiculous. Where's it all gone? He just pointed to us.
Yeah, that's right, pointed to our table. We had 2 empty bottles upturned in the bucket and 2 that were full. And we just raised our glasses and smiled at him. And he knew he couldn't do anything because if he made a fuss about it, his wife would have found out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's true.
12:13.
Career, so that is completely untrue. However, I put you on the straight and narrow road, got you into broadcasting, you have become a member of the Radio Academy since then, so I think you can actually say, if it wasn't for the Portmeister, I'd be nobody. I think you could say that.
I don't think you had anything to do with it.
I had everything to do with it.
No.
There were some people there who were utterly opposed to the idea of, because you...
And the 2 sackings, does that jog any memories?
Well, that was your circumstances, Alan. That was nothing personal,
No, it wasn't. No, one of them was we were at Cheltenham.
Yes, that's right.
And you crept back, because the boss said, I want you back. You're not watching the Gold Cup. You do the show, you come straight back.
Yes, that's right.
And you went, I've got to go, Al.
Yeah.
I've got to go.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But,
I stayed. Yeah. And I missed Friday's show.
Yes, you did.
And then you sacked me.
I'm afraid there were circumstances there. I mean, for instance, we were still building the station, and the chief guest the following morning was Ken Bates. And we had Ken Bates in the studio for an hour, and I had to handle that all myself while still dealing with the crisis of where you were, because we actually had no idea where you were the following morning.
And then there was a little incident in Holland, if I recall.
In Holland?
Yeah,
what was that?
Holland.
In Holland?
When I was struggling a wee bit, it was jet lag or something, and
jet lag.
There was a bowl of M&M's.
Well, listen, I was trying to carry the show on my own. It was very difficult anyway, because the run nodes were all over the place, and what was disgraceful was that you were trying to take my attention away by being too exhausted to actually get to air, but as you quite rightly say, picking up individual M&Ms out of a bowl of M&Ms on the table in our suite in the hotel, and you were throwing them at my face as I was trying to broadcast. It was a huge distraction.
Was that the morning after you took me to that seedy bar in one side of Amsterdam?
I didn't take you anywhere.
It was.
I didn't take you anywhere.
It's all coming back, Porky.
I didn't take you anywhere, Matt. I wouldn't be into that sort of thing. It's a family show, believe
Well, this
me.
is not good. This is not good, this email. Every minute from you two is another signature on MG's redundancy notice.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I mean, look, if the boy can't apply himself to his job, if he wants to go off and lie on a sun lounger in Rhodes and send me pictures of him dipping into his infinity pool,
Oh, really?
Infinity pool? Who cares about infinity pools?
What, with Speedos on? Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh.
So I did say to him, I said, look, I can't hold things open for you, mate, when you're away. People really loved me doing the show on our sister station, Talk Radio, last week on my own. They said it was sparkling, it was informative, it was illustrative, and they just said, why don't we think about that as a future, So I'm not sure what beckons for MG when he gets back. There's no great call
Kick
for
a
him to
man
come
when
back.
he's down. 12:28.
Vardy would guarantee that. I have no doubt about it. Vardy would guarantee it. Now, there's lots of lovely messages coming in.
There is.
I want to thank
I'm
everybody.
amazed.
Tracy here says, hi boys, really enjoying the show. Great trip down memory lane. Poor old MG getting pelters from all over the world. I love it. Well, thank you, Tracy. It's not necessarily going down memory lane, to be honest, but Alan and I have been here since the start, and it's nice to reflect on how the whole thing grew to where it is today.
I don't like being called a lunatic. This guy says, can these two lunatics have their full-time slot back? They're funner than H&J, despite the fact they hardly ever mention sport.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? You can't have everything. One here from Matty. He says, okay, guys, great show. You're both on great form today. Well done. And one particularly here from Sydney.
Sydney?
Sydney in Australia. Actually, I've lost it. Here we go. Great to have Pork in Brazil back, just like it was. Listening from Sydney, Australia. Minute I heard you two were getting together again, made sure I was tuned in. Top level banter, fellas, and Comedy Gold. Hey, listen, when you keep saying top level banter and Comedy Gold, you got to remember we are serious broadcasters, okay? Very serious broadcasters. We know a lot.
Yeah, that brings it on the story in Amsterdam. Oh dear! Remember England, Holland, the first game in the new stadium.
I certainly do.
In Amsterdam.
Yes, and
see, there was another time you were an absolute disgrace. You not remember that?
Sorry, what do you mean?
Oh yes, because you gave me a rollicking. We got in trouble.
Yes.
From the boss at the time, right?
Yes.
And you gave me a rollicking, and you were. Do you remember it was John Sadler's last game from
yes,
the Sun?
It was actually.
Right?
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And every time you tried to have a go at me and give me a dressing down, someone would come round the corner. Mike, Alan, you're right.
Yeah.
And eventually I said, look, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
If you're going to give me a rollicking, let's do it in private. Let's go over to that little restaurant.
The Italian restaurant.
Yeah,
the
Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
9 bottles of Pinot later.
That's right.
We then got in a cab and went to the game.
That's right.
You had your feet out the window. Get in there. Here we go.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's an outrage.
And we got to the ground.
I was the boss of Talksport at the time. I wouldn't behave like that.
We got to the ground.
Yeah.
And it all kicked off, you remember. The England fans couldn't get in, the turnstiles weren't open.
That's right.
And there was, and we got split up because 4 police horses charged the England fans.
Nearly trampled me.
And I thought, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
England, Holland, I'm a jock. What am I doing here?
Yeah,
So I got the cab, who'd just done a U-E. I got the cab back to...
You got back in it.
And you don't remember the game at all?
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. What was most funny was the following day we went back to that Italian restaurant for lunch, and when we walked in,
Well, they all applauded us, didn't they?
Applauded us, and then the boss of the restaurant said something to his head waiter, who then in Dutch, who then disappeared. And then about 15 minutes later, the head waiter arrived back with a case of Pinot Grigio on his shoulder because there wasn't any left. Just funny. Anyway, another one here because I like our regular correspondence. Luxury Lizzie says, fabulous to hear you two doing the show today, fellas. Almost makes me feel like reviving the FMP list, which of course in our day was the first Mrs. Parry. Well, I'm afraid that list is shut now. All ambitions in that direction have been ceased.
Do you never, do you never, when you're on your own all the time,
I'm not on my own.
No, yeah. Do you never get lonely?
No, I never get lonely.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't get lonely because, frankly, there's always things to do. You know what I mean?
Well, like what?
What?
Like what?
Well, looking after things. I have a lot to look
What?
after.
A few more glasses and then tweeting.
No.
Upsetting people, picking fights with people.
Oh, no,
Yes.
I tell you what, MG's the king of that one. And you know what? He likes getting into intellectual debate, and I haven't found anybody yet who's actually beaten him. Kenny here says, listening to Big Al and Porky tell you the story of, which story is this? Oh, buying up all the wine on the train. Absolutely brilliant. Well, these
That
things
was
are
funny.
happening
The
in the past.
guy had the right hump.
It was, yeah. And one here from Gran Canaria, so it's coming in from all over the world. Listening to you do guys while on holiday in Gran Canaria. Never heard a show before where Al couldn't get a word in. Well, are you mad? Are you mad? I mean...
With the greatest respect,
yes.
if you're on holiday in Gran Canaria and you want to listen to us, wouldn't you? But just,
Right.
have a nice time on holiday. You don't want to listen to us.
No, I don't agree. I mean, okay, in Gran Canaria it'd be too hot for me, but I mean, if it was me and I wanted to listen to something, I would retire to a sun shade, what's it called, like an umbrella type thing, get under that, put the old earphones in, be sipping a bit of, Gran Canaria, is that Portugal?
No.
Or Spain. So now I don't like Spanish wine, you see. I don't like Rioja. So I would be on the San Miguel's probably, a few beers and all that kind of stuff, and taking in information through my earphones, because that's what you do these days.
Last time when any trips to Iceland coming up?
Iceland's now too crowded for me. It's become too popular. I discovered it, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. And I used to like going, and it was magnificent in those days, because the plane would fly over this volcanic island, it was all dark and all that kind of stuff. You get to the hotels, the only people there were Icelanders, okay? These days, there are so many tourists there.
Why, do you think there'd be more Russians than Icelandics?
Probably, but do you know what sparked a rush to Iceland? It was Iceland's defeat of England in the European Championships.
Yeah, but you went there way before
Oh,
that.
way before, but what the Icelandic are now complaining about is that a lot of the volcanoes and things that people go to see are getting worn away by
Here's one for you.
by tourists.
So, I had to get my knees injected the other day, right?
Oh, yeah.
In Soho. So, afterwards, the guy's brilliant. He's brilliant, by the way. As a physio.
It's
and
all
a
down to the
doctor,
cortisone
he's
that
brilliant.
used to have.
Well, it's like a lubricant.
Yeah,
goes in.
sure, yeah.
They put it into your kneecap.
Right.
Right,
And it's effective, is it?
Correct.
Yes.
But he said you have to sit down for 20 minutes after. So, I'll find a little pub.
Yes.
Sit down. And the Girl, I was chatting away at the Girl.
Couldn't you have sat down in the waiting room? Like an ordinary, normal person?
It was very busy.
No room, okay.
Very busy.
Okay.
So, I'm sitting there having a couple of pints. And she was I said, where are you from? She says, Barcelona.
Who's this, the girl behind the bar?
Yeah. And I said, you got a bit of a problem over there, haven't you, with the tourists? I don't know if you've been aware of this.
No.
But they're revolting against it. And she said, well,
yeah.
because people of this country come over to our country and trash the place.
Well, do you know what?
They get hammered, they get drunk.
Yeah.
They don't obey our laws.
Yeah.
What do you expect? I went,
Yeah.
maybe she's got a point.
Now, tragically, this was obviously before the horrors of Barcelona the last 2 days ago. But funny enough, Al, I'm very aware of that movement cropping up. In that part of the world, Catalonia, they are particularly proud of some of the, the historical traditions of, and they don't like drunken louts from anywhere, particularly from Britain, going over there. But it's not just there. You'll find in Spain, on some of those popular coastal resorts like Alicante and Malaga and places like that, they're banning stag parties. And I agree with it. I think it's a disgrace. I hate exporting yobbery from this country, and I don't mind the Spanish authorities getting tough with them at all.
One last one, Mike. By the way, how'd you get away with this just 2 hours?
Well,
this is a doddle.
Yeah, but I said to you at the start of the show, and I'll repeat it. It's quality, not quantity. That's right. Quality, not quantity. In terms of 2 hours of quality beats 3 hours with MG. You know what I mean?
John, a Tottenham fan, says, great show, lads. Porky Paddy, you are the voice of reason.
The voice of
Can
reason.
You believe it?
I'm very rarely called the voice of reason, but thank you very much indeed for being 1 in a million who spots it. Once one spotted it, the rest will.
Swansea 0, Man United, 25 minutes gone. Should be 1-1, 0-0 at the moment. United on top. We're round the grounds next. Mike, see you later. Have a great weekend. I'm heading back to sleepy Suffolk. Adrian Dunham coming next.